I feel like it's time we have to have the conversation on if the Denver Broncos got duped when it comes to Sean Payton, man. Because Sean Payton was brought in here to reset the culture and reset the dynamic of this locker room. At the same time, revitalize the offense. And through the first couple weeks, it definitely looked like that happened. I mean, Sean Payton was scheming guys open. He was doing some good stuff on offense, especially in the first half. But once we fell off of scripted plays, that's when things really started to go to hell for Sean Payton and the Denver Broncos offense. Now in this game, the play calling has been poor for pretty much 3 games in a row. The situational football has been bad. Questionable moves have been made by Sean Payton, from the hiring of Vance Joseph as defensive coordinator, bringing in guys like Frank Clark and Mike McGlinchey. Mike McGlinchey continues to disappoint at right tackle for the Denver Broncos. Another potential right tackle bust for Denver. It really is frustrating, man, because Sean Payton has made some moves that have held this franchise back, I feel like. And his play calling has been disappointing. I've tried to give him the benefit of the doubt on that, but I can't really do that anymore. The dude has just really disappointed on several levels, and now we seriously have to have that conversation on if the Denver Broncos got duped trading for Sean Payton. We gave up a first-round pick. We could have hired somebody else. I mean, there were guys like Jonathan Gannon in this coaching cycle who seems to be doing a pretty good job right now with Arizona. You know, there were other guys in this coaching cycle that the Denver Broncos could have considered. Last year, they could have considered guys such as Kevin O'Connell. They could have considered guys, such as Mike McDaniel, Brian Dable, and that didn't happen. 2 mistakes in a row when it comes to potential coaching hires. I'm still not going to give up on Sean Payton just yet, but the red flags are starting to get raised for sure. Rayanne says, we're tired of losing. I want this season to end, please. I mean, yeah, it's rough, man. We still have several games of this stuff to get through. And this channel right here is obviously going to be like a group therapy session, probably throughout several other games this year, because, man, the schedule is not easy moving forward. You got Kansas City again. You got Green Bay. You got Buffalo, Minnesota. I mean, you've got... Thank you so much for the $20, Rayanne. I really appreciate you. Really, really do. Helps keep the lights on here at Broncos Syndicate. Thank you guys so much for the donations. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. But again, we've got some tough opponents on our schedule. Still have the Chargers twice, even though we'll probably beat them at least once this year just because the Chargers charger. Yeah, man. Again, we're going to have to get through a rough next few weeks, especially if the Denver Broncos do indeed have that fire sale. Sean Payton, when he was asked about calling a timeout after Wilson was sacked late in the first half, they could have just run the clock out, and instead they gifted those 3 points to Kansas City, and that ultimately ended up being the difference maker in this game. That was a boneheaded mistake by Sean, he says, and he took accountability for it, saying that was on him. Again, though, man, that's just inexcusable. You cannot justify Sean Payton, the draft capital that we traded for him, and the amount of money that we're paying him to be the head coach of the Denver Broncos. Those are blunders you cannot make, especially from a Super Bowl winning head coach. That stings. That really does sting, man. That's questionable, and yeah, there's really no excuse for it. There is no excuse for it, and that ultimately ended up being the difference maker in this game. So I've been very disappointed over the last couple of weeks with Sean Payton. He has done Russell Wilson no favors. Again, receiving play has been awful. Guys are not getting open, and that includes Marvin Mims, who I believe didn't even have a catch tonight. Jaleel McLaughlin looked good, but have a great night, Rayanne. Thank you so much for popping in. I really, really appreciate you. Danny says, offensive play call sucks. They gave the ball to nobody on 3rd down and 1 instead of McLaughlin and Williams. Agreed, man. There were several situations where the Broncos abandoned the run at inopportune times. Run the ball on 3rd and short. Hell, even give it to Michael Burton. Give it to your fullback. They did it once and they converted. They did it a second time and they ended up getting stuffed. But still, why not try Michael Burton again at the bare minimum? I don't understand. I really don't. I mean, Russell Wilson was certainly a problem tonight. Was he the problem? No.